Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our regular meeting, Monday, April 13th, 7:01 p.m. Prior to this meeting, we had an executive session to discuss matters of real estate. To get started, call to order. Already called to order, and then we'll do roll call.
President Valerie Rheinthaler.
I am here.
Vice President Andrea Datillo. Here. Councilmember Shirley Blair Fuller. Councilmember Matt Castiglia. Here. Councilmember Deb Cassini-Klein. Councilmember Greg Prodanovich. Here. Councilmember Suzanne Mitchell. And Mayor Paul Gamrat.
Here.
I would like to say before we do the Pledge of Allegiance, thank you everybody for coming out today. We have a packed room and it's really nice to see all of your faces. Stand if you can for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First, we would like to start for a proclamation by Mayor Paul Gamrat to Churchill resident Christian Money.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Paul, can you stand by the mic?
Yes, so we could hear you.
All right, how's that look? Okay. This is Churchill Borough Office of Council and Mayor, a proclamation recognizing Christian Money. Whereas Mr. Rogers Neighborhood Day celebrates the value in kindness, compassion, and being a caring neighbor, principles that strengthen our community and reflect the very best of our shared humanity. And whereas Christian Money, a 10-year-old resident of our borough, has demonstrated these values in a meaningful and heartfelt way by sharing cookies with neighbors in honor of Mr. Rogers Neighborhood Day. And whereas through this simple yet powerful act, Christian brings joy to others, fosters connection among neighbors, and reminds us all of the importance of kindness in everyday life. And whereas beyond this special day, Christian, known for helping others, shows the generosity and treating people with respect and care, setting a positive example for residents of all ages. And whereas Christian is an active Cub Scout, demonstrating responsibility, service, and commitment to learning and growth. And whereas Christian has also been learning to play the piano, shows dedication, creativity, and a willingness to develop a new skill. And whereas Christian dreams of becoming an astronaut one day, and already shows the curiosity, determination, and big-hearted spirit that will carry him far, both in our community and perhaps beyond the world. And whereas it's fitting to recognize young residents who embody the value of service, kindness, and community pride, and who inspire others through their actions. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, council members of Churchill Borough, council and mayor, do hereby recognize and commend Christian Money for his kindness, generosity, and commensurate to being a good neighbor, and extend our appreciation for the joy that he brings to our community. Churchill Borough Council and the mayor encourage all residents to follow his example by spreading kindness, helping others, and building a stronger, more caring community. In witness whereof, I have hereunto caused the seal of the Borough of Churchill to be affixed this 13th day of April, 2026. Thank you. Would you like to say anything?
Well, I am proud for all of my neighbors and anyone that I love, and I would be a great astronaut in the future.
Oh, that is so great.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yes. Thank you for everything that you do for our community at such a young age. That's beautiful. And thank you, Mayor, for introducing that proclamation. That was a great idea.
My pleasure.
Thank you. All right, moving on to other things. We're going to do a presentation of the possible all-inclusive playground by Pashik. And I would like to say while we're doing that, there are 16 people in attendance right now, and I believe we have 3 online.
All right. Thank you, Council. Appreciate being here. I'm here to give you an update on the playground that Pashek MTR in coordination with Gateway and the borough manager is working on. We can go to the next slide. So the location of this new playground is on the Black Ridge Civic Association property, so not too far from the borough building here. Next slide. So the location is at the end of Collins and kind of behind the existing Black Ridge Civic Association building. So Beulah Road is on the south side of this this image here. And so we've done some site analysis, which looks at existing utilities, slopes, existing conditions to kind of assess what would be good locations for the playground, the structures. Go to the next slide. We did a site visit and looked at existing conditions with some fellow council persons in the room. Appreciate your walkthrough with us. And so we can kind of go through these. This is the existing site. You can see that it's pretty flat, open lawn space. Go to the next one. This is a view looking down towards that large lawn area from the existing the main parking lot of the Civic Association, which is uphill a little bit from the site. Go to the next slide. This is looking back towards kind of the back corner of the property where you can see an existing playground is there. It's been there for decades. It's kind of at the end of its useful life. You can go to the next slide. The surfacing, needs some love. 2 beautiful pin oaks are there. We're going to try to save those. They provide great shade. Go to the next slide. So we've started to develop a plan for the site. And you can see that we're proposing a few parking spaces off of the end of Collins. So we've got some feedback from a public meeting we held back in March to provide more spaces. Originally, we had just a couple of accessible spaces, ADA spaces there, but folks said we should provide at least a few more. So we kind of expanded that parking area. And then all of the locations of the various playground features are kind of, we're trying to avoid utilities. There's a lot of utilities that go through here. So we kind of have to place them in locations that we're not going to disturb those utilities, that if those utilities need access in the future, that there is we're providing that access. The location of the existing playground, because it's kind of back in the back corner there, because it's pretty wet in there and there's a lot of surface roots. Those trees have created, have grown a lot of roots in that area. We don't want to disturb that. We want to protect those trees. And so that's why the location of the playground is where it is. There's been requests for a pavilion. And so the pavilion is that kind of blue square, number 9 in the image up above there. So there's been a desire from the community that pavilion can be used for playground or for birthday parties and gatherings, but it could also be used as a stage. So we've got the lawn, a large lawn space to the north of that pavilion that people can put blankets down or, set up chairs and things for concerts that could take place in that pavilion. We've got several different pieces of equipment that we're proposing for the actual playground. There's 5 to 12 structure area for kids that are ages 5 to 12. And then that's the number 6 in the image. And then there's a 2 to 5 playground space, the number 4 there. And then swings. So we find that swings help families stay longer. If there's more swings, people stay longer at a playground. And so we have 3 bays of swings for toddlers to belt swings for older kids, along with kind of a social swing, kind of it's called like mommy and me swings, to provide a variety of swinging experiences. And we're also proposing a fully accessible spinner. And there will be a lot of kind of accessible, inclusive features on each of the structures, the 2 to 5 and the 5 to 12. We're also proposing plenty of seating, so there'll be lots of benches. There will be some picnic tables. And you can see there's a kind of a loop path that goes around the whole playground area. So a lot of people were really interested in that, and especially in the public meeting. People were really excited to have some sort of walking path, moms with strollers being able to go around that path, people of all ages using it. So we want to make this as kind of intergenerational as much as we can. There was a lot of other requests during the public meeting. And I think that in terms of like, we talked about exercise equipment and those types of things that we might not be able to afford in this phase, but might be a future phase. So having something like that around, and restrooms, the goal is in a future phase to have a permanent restroom. In this phase, we will have basically a porta-john with a nice kind of screening fence around it as a temporary solution until we get some more money to implement that restroom building. Let's see. We're going to have to abide by stormwater management regulations. So we'll have some rain gardens and stormwater management as part of this. We do know that there's a lot of water, spring seeps and things coming off of some of these hillsides. So we want to make sure that that doesn't impact the construction and the future durability and longevity of the playground. Let's see. Can we go to the next slide? This is kind of an enlargement of that. So here's an example of the pavilion having kind of a shed roof on it to open up more on one side. So you can imagine concerts and things being held here, and this act as like a stage. We'll have electrical outlets and electricity to this pavilion so people can plug in for that. Next slide. These are examples of some of the style and colors that we're looking to incorporate into the play space. The next slide. And these are some of the elements, the specific elements that we're proposing. So this is the age 2 to 5 structure, has things like transfer station for a kid in a wheelchair can transfer it onto the structure. Lots of ground level play, imaginary play, along with the all important slides. Next. This is the 5 to 12 structure. So it kind of mimics a tree. So we thought that was kind of appropriate in here, that this whole kind of style kind of mimics that tree aspect, clubhouse aspect. So we've got some kind of faux wood roofs on some of the structures as well. And so this structure here is great because in terms of inclusivity, because you can get around it from all sides and be within it and among it, while lots of kids are climbing all over the place. So it's inclusive in that way. Next slide. These are some of the taller slides for the older kids coming off of that structure. You're good. And so these are some of the swings we talked about earlier. You can see kind of some people call it a friendship swing or a mommy and me swing, or sibling and me swing, on the right hand side where younger kid can be in the one seat and either a parent or an older kid can be on the other and they could swing together, along with your other typical swings and an ADA swing. You can see that in the one with the harness over it. So the spinner on the lower left is the one that we're looking at. Allows wheelchairs to be to drive right onto it, and you can lots of different kids of all abilities can be on the same piece of equipment at the same time. Go to the next slide. We're also proposing some musical instruments, so these can be very interactive. Kids of all abilities and ages can play on these, and they provide that sensory output as well. As far as project timeline, I think this is my last slide. So we're here at April 13th at the council meeting. We realize that this project is kind of fast tracked. We need to spend some money by the end of the year. And so in order to do that, to get construction and to get this playground in before the end of the year, we need to go out to bid. Basically, we need approval to go out to bid by the end of May. And so advertising for bidding at the end of May, and then the bidding process the month of May. So we'll have to come back and get a final approval from council before then. So I think, yeah, May 11th is when we are thinking we need to get back here to have final approval of that. Anybody have any questions?
One thing I'll note too is like a lot of the elements we're looking at in regards to like playground equipment might seem that they just look like a typical playground equipment, but they are ADA inclusive, which is kind of the main goal of this whole grant that we did get from Senator Cost. So I liked how it incorporated various elements to make everyone feel welcome there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your presentation. I did want to say, to clarify that this is a possible park. Nothing has been fully decided. So I want to make sure that it's clear for the public, that nothing has been finalized. Because I know that was a question that was asked at the last meeting. But this is wonderful. Thank you.
So I'm sorry, I had a question. Does PASIC provide the pushers for the swings or those self-serve?
I, as a known pusher for my 6-year-old,
Thank you, appreciate it.
List of volunteers from Patrick, of pushers, thing we'll make sure to add you to the top of that list as a professional 6-year-old pusher.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And we can put the presentation on eCode.
Yes, please. That would be great. I appreciate that. All right, we will move on to the public comment portion of our meeting. If you would like to give a comment, and if you're in the room, please stand up, state your name, your address, and you have 3 minutes. You have to be a resident or taxpayer.
My name is Judy Schreier. I live on Collins Road. Thank you. And I'm just thrilled about this playground. I think it's great for all kids. But I wondered, is it just for Churchill? It's a public playground. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kathy Nelson. I also live on Collins. I have a question. My understanding is the money needs to be spent by the end of the year, but is some of it able to be held over for maintenance? I'm getting a nod. Thank you.
And what is your address on Collins? I'm sorry. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Any other comments in the room? All right, we'll move on to online. If you would like to speak, please raise your virtual hand and we will promote you to panelist. And we have 4 people online right now. Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, we will close public comment. And we'll move on to number 5, Sue. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? And it carries. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam President. The chief has reported to me that there were no significant incidents for the month of March 2026. Our officers handled a total of 932 events this month, 2,570 year to date, consisting of calls for service and proactive patrol engagements and details affecting 3 arrests and making total for the year of 6 arrests. The department's 5 police vehicles logged a total of 6,363 miles. The combined year-to-date total now stands at 17,982 miles. Magisterial fines for March 2026 were not available for this report. The ticket summary for the month of March 2026 was 30, 0 non-traffic, 3 parking, and 27 traffic tickets. The chief reminds us that with the arrival of the warmer weather, our streets and roadways routinely become occupied with noticeably higher volume of pedestrian traffic. Residents and motorists should be mindful of this and exercise caution while traveling on the roads. As spring cleaning efforts begin around your home and property, please remember that it is unlawful to deposit grass, leaves, branches, and tree trimmings or any other debris onto the roadway. Also, take the time to evaluate how visible your house numbers are from the street. It is not uncommon for the police officers and first responders to have to take extra time in locating house numbers when responding to emergency calls to homes, particularly at night. I would like to publicly thank Officer Justin Hott on behalf of myself and council for providing a safe escort for the annual bunny parade. His interactions with the residents, especially with the children, was outstanding. Details and other related statistics concerning the police department during the month of March 2026 are reported on the attached police department reports. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. 2, 6. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? And it carries. Moving on to our treasurer's report. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? And it carries. Moving on to our action items, number 8. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? And it carries. Moving on to number 9. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? And it carries. Moving on to number 10. Any discussion on that? Yeah, Michelle's gonna do it. Yeah.
I did include a job description reminder
Mhm.
that you saw. That was examined pretty heavily by Gavin. management, and government, and administratively as well. Unfortunately, but also exciting, Ralph is getting ready to retire. So he's planning to retire not till next year, beginning of next year, February, but I would like to have someone come in to start shadowing him pretty heavily. So he can guide this individual to physically locate the manholes, what utilities are there. It's gonna be a lot of shadowing. So ideally, this person that we bring in would take over that position once Ralph retires.
I think it's important. It takes a while to get to know the borough, the people, the little intricacies of that we have. So I think it's important. And I think it's a great idea, Michelle, of bringing this person in to shadow and get to know the job.
So this would be ideally for them to be fully hired and in probably towards the end of July.
Mhm.
That's my time.
Great. And then as we go on, we'll be transparent about like who's involved in interviews and those kinds of things. We haven't quite gotten to that phase yet of this. But. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it carries. Moving on to 11.
Madam President, motion to award the 2026 GTF sanitary sewer repair contract to Robinson Pipe Cleaning, $79,615. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it carries. Moving on to 12.
Madam President, motion to award the 2026 sanitary sewer point repair contract to Soli Construction, Inc. in the amount of $181,000 and $181,000 and can't speak here.
$181,000. 36.
Not used to those big numbers.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Repeat, please.
Sorry, again, that one is based on an open-ended contract, so the actual contract amount would be on work completed by the contractor. So that 181 was just for bidding purposes.
Great. Thank you for clarifying that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it carries. Moving on to 13.
Madam President, motion to award the 2026 sanitary sewer manhole lining contract to Snyder Environmental Services Incorporated in the amount of $182,710.00. Second.
Any discussion?
Point out the similar on that one. This is for the lining contract that we've had on an annual basis. It is renewable up to 3 years, and yet that a contract amount is just for bid purposes. Actual work will be proposed with work orders after working with borough staff and infrastructure committee.
So, Denny, is
Matt,
this?
can you get close to my?
So, Dennis, is this a contractor that Gateway's familiar with? I know I had heard this name previously when we've done other bids.
Yeah, so we did complete the due diligence with it. And this is a contractor that we're aware of. I haven't directly worked with them. They do often use a typical or a different means and methods than what we're used to, but we verified that they use a fold in place as opposed to a cured in place, but the contractor will be required to complete all lining regardless of their means and methods.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it carries. Moving on to 14.
Madam President, motion to approve resolution 4686 requesting to be included in the Allegheny County Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnerships Program for the 3 program years 2027, 2028, and 2029.
Any discussion?
Last time, but if we don't opt in to say that we are interested in it. If we don't opt in to say that we're interested in it for the 3 years via resolution, then we wouldn't qualify for any of the years. So this is just sort of like a preliminary step.
This is also a grant that we used before. This is part of what paid for our updated ADA accessible bathrooms here in the borough building and locker room upgrades.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it carries. Moving on to 15.
Madam President, we have a mosquito bucket challenge, which is coordinated by the Climate Action Committee. And this was an idea of Greg Podanovich, and Greg is now going to do his demonstration. Take it away, Greg.
So what we wanted to do was create some kind of initiative here. You know, Earth Day is right around the corner and we're getting ready to go into summertime. This is to cut down on mosquito populations throughout the borough. Mosquitoes carry viruses like West Nile, Zika, and yellow fever. Having yards chemically treated kills a lot of essential pollinators, bees, hummingbirds, things like that, and could be very costly while not being very effective. They say that the most effective way of dealing with mosquitoes is killing the larvae, not the actual adults. So these buckets are a cost-effective strategy that target mosquitoes in their larval stage, not adult stage. Not too many details right now. This is something that we're just rolling out. So keep an eye out for information via the borough's social media, and there will be an article in the newsletter coming out. We're looking to launch around Memorial Day and run it to the 4th of July. So, you know, peak cookout season when people are in their backyards grilling, you know, they don't want the mosquitoes to show up and get the nasty bites and everything. This will be a free program that the borough is offering, and yeah, just keep your eye out for some more information coming soon. Yeah, we'll do it kind of like a sign up, you know, just come to the borough building, get your bucket. It's a very simple thing. There's a bait that will be provided for you. The only thing you'll have to do is take it home, fill it with either like a handful of dried leaves, a handful of grass clippings, fill it with water, put it somewhere in your yard close to where you hang out, your patio, your grill, whatever. Let it sit. It does the work for you.
So I'm confused. I'm sorry. This helps. It makes more mosquitoes, or what is it?
No, it kills the mosquitoes. Yes. Yeah. You put the bait in that draws the mosquitoes in. Yes.
Cool.
But it's, you know, it's not invasive to, you know, pollinators, bees, hummingbirds. It's pet friendly, it's kid friendly. You know, don't have your kids go drink from it, but you know, the kids are around it, you know, and it splashes, you know, they'll be okay. They're not going to grow a, you know, third arm or anything. So
I'm excited for this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good idea.
All right, moving on to our staff and support team reports. We'll start with our engineer, Denny.
Again, we went over a couple of the contracts. The other item, we're still waiting on getting the final grant for the paving program. So we have that. We plan on going out to bid for that. So hopefully we can sneak that in, get that in May. If not, shortly thereafter.
Great, thank you. Chief?
I just wanted to say, this.
Congratulations, and a job very well done by Christian. It's impressive, what you're accomplishing at such a young age, and you're clearly very intelligent and articulate. And if an astronaut is what you want to be, it's what you certainly show, because the sky's the limit. So congratulations. Sure.
Ashley?
I just wanted to point out one thing about the Thanksgiving balances. The tax collector made a few deposits in March, so we brought in a lot of tax money. To see that balance high, that will just be moved over to the general fund, as we know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle?
Nothing for the time. Thank you.
Great. Mr. Solicitor? All right, we'll move, is Ralph on? Okay. All right, anybody on council?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Dr. Hot. Thank you to our mysterious bunny. I had a great day. You stay outside and everything turned out really well. So thank you, everybody.
yeah, I just wanted to echo Andrea's remarks there. You know, it was a new year. You know, we sprung something on residents with a different route, and you know, talking to Paul, he said it went really well. So you know, that's a that's a great thing, thank you to Officer Hott. He was great with the kids, everyone who, I mean, he had the kids crawling through the cruiser, like he bit off more than he could chew, but I think he had a fun time. Infrastructure wise, not a lot going on. We heard there's a lot of bids just being awarded. So be aware, there will be crews out in the borough while you're driving around now that the weather's getting a little more gentle. So yeah, keep a lookout for our guys. And that's all I have, Madam President.
Tomorrow is Coffee with the Mayor Day.
Yes, it is.
It's our first Coffee with the Mayor from 10 to 11 in our Jaeger room. We've got cookies and coffee. Are we gonna go in here instead? Okay, great.
Whatever
Coffee
you would like, Mayor.
Right here.
Whatever the mayor
Right,
wants.
whatever the mayor
in the
wants, the
building
mayor
somewhere.
gets. Right,
You smell the coffee.
right. So this is just a time to talk to the mayor, talk to your neighbors, whoever comes along. So I just want to remind everybody that's from 10 to 11 a.m. And one other reminder, May 17th, it's a Sunday, from 5 to 8 is our annual Churchill dinner. It's at the Wilkins Elks. We're having a big buffet barbecue. It's going to be a great time. You can call the office and sign up. There's a QR code in your newsletter. If you can't find that, call us. We'll figure out a way to get you signed up, but it's going to be a lot of fun at a very reasonable price.
Thank you. Anybody else on council?
I just wanted to say on behalf of Councilman Greg and myself, a number of folks stopped by during our office hours. So it's always great to see people and, hear concerns and just have a chance to talk with folks in the community. So yeah, those are posted in the newsletter and feel free to take advantage.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian, for the work that you do in the community. We are so appreciative of all that you do. And I can't wait. I hope I'm around when you go up into space, regardless of how far you go. Congratulations. I'd like to also thank the mayor and the Easter Bunny. I'm not gonna look at him, but it was nice to see him on our street and see the Easter Bunny and coming down the street in style this year.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful day for it. The weather was wonderful. Again, thank you so much for all the work that you do in the borough.
All right. Oh, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor, how could I forget?
Well, over the years, I read a lot of proclamations, but today was especially proud to read this proclamation for Christian for the things that he's doing, for himself, for the community, and being an example for other kids that you're able to reach out and be a neighbor and do good things in your community. So I was really proud to read that proclamation today. And I, applaud you again for your efforts. And we'll see you maybe in Artemis, maybe Artemis 20. You'll go up to Mars or something. Thank you.
All right.
Second.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Thank you
night.
so much for being here.